Thousands of Israelis, led by at least 7 government ministers, are marching to an evacuated West Bank settlement. The march posing a new test for Israel's security forces after days of unrest fuelled by tensions over a contested Jerusalem holy site. Israeli police and army forces were being deployed to the northern West Bank, the scene of frequent tensions in recent months, to secure the march. It also comes after days of fighting in Jerusalem and along Israel's northern and southern fronts. Earlier today, Israeli troops shot dead 1 Palestinian and injured another in a raid on a refugee camp near Jericho in the occupied West Bank. Let's cross now to Irris Makler in Jerusalem. Irris, who exactly is joining this march from the government?
Thousands of settlers who live in the West Bank are coming out as a show of support for the family who lost 2 daughters in a drive-by shooting last week. As well, there are government ministers, and I have to say this is a common refrain when there are attacks by Palestinian militants. The Settler Council will say something like, we have to build another settlement as our answer to these crimes, as they put it. But in addition to an array of people who are coming in support of that family, there are also politicians and government ministers who are coming in a very strange turn of events to say that they no longer really support the military response from the government that they're part of. And so we have heard attacks from various right-wing leaders over the past 2 or 3 days, and I think part of the reason is that they were elected on a platform of making people feel safe again. And as we've been reporting, there's been so much violence, people don't feel safe, and they themselves feel threatened politically. So now they're coming out against the military, and that's the very strange situation we're in today.
And given what you've just said, where does this leave Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu?
He is in a difficult position. We haven't heard a word from him about this particular march today, nor have we heard criticism from him about the remarks by members of his government, even of his cabinet, about the performance of the military. We have heard from the opposition who say to him, you cannot have people calling the military traitors, because either they present the evidence or they have to be booted out of government. But we haven't heard from the Prime Minister in response to that. Partly the reason may be the polls. The latest polls show an incredible dip in popularity for this government. If elections were held today, this right-wing constellation, this coalition, would not be in the majority, and Benjamin Netanyahu, I think for the 3rd week running now, is no longer preferred Prime Minister. And in those circumstances, it's very hard for him to start disciplining the members of his government who seem to be turning against him.
Irris Makler reporting there from Jerusalem. Thank you.